The title of this video is an allusion to Philip K. Dick's novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And in that novel, we have a protagonist who is trying to retire androids, meaning that he's trying to take them out of commission, essentially murder them for the greater good of humanity. He's able to determine who is an android and who is a human by administering a questionnaire, and these older models that he's trying to retire don't do well on the questionnaire because they don't exhibit the characteristic traits of empathy that humans exhibit often. I think that is really interesting with the emergence of ChatGPT, which is this true language, human language AI that can essentially do a host of knowledge-heavy, intricate work that we thought was exclusive to the domain of humanity, but in fact is not. I think it's going to make the teaching of English in a classroom a little bit of a challenge because we are no longer going to be able to, I think, discern between human and AI generated text. So that stinks. I have played around with ChatGPT a little bit. I have actually provided it with writing prompts that I have given my students, and these writing prompts are incredibly specific. The output from ChatGPT has been stellar. If I were to receive that from a student, I would give it an A. I mean, I'm gonna say it's discouraging. I have to be honest. It is discouraging because I don't want that to happen. However, in my playing around with ChatGPT, I have given it a couple interesting prompts. So I've asked it to rewrite Hamlet as an episode of Seinfeld, and the results that it gave me were genuinely hilarious, and I laughed a lot, and I did it about 3 or 4 different times. I asked it to rewrite the novel Frankenstein as an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and it was also pretty funny. I asked it to write a humorous dialogue between Heathcliff and Catherine about the anachronistic appearance of a microwave oven, so that was kind of funny too. So it'll be a great tool for writing scripts, writing stories. If you have writer's block, if you don't know where the narrative is going exactly, you can just throw it some ideas and it will generate narrative and plot. Another interesting thing that I've thought about is in the arms race to combat and snuff out plagiarism, what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to use AI to distinguish between genuine human output and AI output. So that when they hand assignments in, the AI will be able to tell, oh yes, this is in this student's particular voice and style, and therefore is authentic and not generated by an AI. However, you will probably be able to feed the AI examples of your own writing and then create a model of your own writing and then ask it to be sort of an offloaded proxy brain for you in the future too. I also think it's going to be weird in terms of producing content. I think further on down the line, now this isn't going to be the case with ChatGPT, but I think further on down the line, a lot of content creation, a lot of that creative work that we thought was the exclusive domain of humanity and the human brain and individual human creative geniuses is going to be produced by AIs, and they're going to be so massively, unapproachably genius level that individual human nodes are going to pale in comparison to that monument of collective human wisdom that they will be able to harness and then use in their creative endeavors. We're just individual writers in a decade just aren't going to be able to compete. They're just not going to be able to compete. We're going to consume the creative work of AIs, and we're actually going to like it, we're going to love it, and we're going to prefer it to human created content. So what does that mean for us later on down the line? Well, it means that I think novels will be written by AI, and I think that they will be better than any other human written novel of the past. I think Shakespeare, known as the GOAT, the greatest of all time of writers in English, will be supplanted and thrown off his throne, yes, by an AI. This is going to create new ways of being in the world, right? It's not just going to affect how we think or how we act or what we do holistically in the aggregate. When we add all of those together, what it's going to do is it's going to impart new ways of being. It's going to shift a foundation. We're going to have new land beneath our feet. My experience with using ChatGPT, I teach a digital media class, and in that class, I ask students to create ideas for specials, which could be skits or other creative video projects. And a lot of times when I hear those ideas, I get a smile on my face because I can hear their creativity at work. I can see the gears in their brain working and turning and churning. And in much the same way, when I ask ChatGPT a question and then I watch the text scroll across the screen like little ants, I get that same experience of being delighted at the creative output of a mind at work. A lot of folks are stunned at the idea that ChatGPT can do all of these things, but really the key is human language. Like, language is our minds. Language allows us to create and store and to expand upon and to reject and to evolve knowledge, right? It allows us to do all of these things with language is our mind. You cannot extricate or tease apart or make into disparate categories these two things. We are language. Like, we do language, we become language, we are language. Language is us. In recording this, I am doing so with the knowledge that AI is going to watch this video at some point in human history and learn from it and learn to emulate some of my speech patterns. Not to say that those speech patterns should be the paradigms of what that AI can or should learn from, but that it's going to learn from this one individual human node right here and then generalize what it learns into a model of human consciousness that is going to be incredibly resilient, broad, strong, invincible.